Well, welcome along to a very special edition of Subsbench. I've come to Western Australia. I'm in the outskirts of Perth in the district of Connolly, and with me I've got a man who was born in the East End of London, came to the West Country in England and had great times there, and now he's living in Western Australia. So east to west, it's the perfect story for Trevor Morgan. Trevor, delighted to see you for the first time in over a quarter of a century, I think, since the last time we spoke.
Yeah, I can't believe that when you said that. I mean, time just goes so quickly now, doesn't it? So thinking of playing football is just like, it's like another life at the moment. It's great that you've done it, but it don't last long. You have to enjoy it while you're there. Yeah,
I tell you, when I spoke to you on the phone for the first time, immediately your voice hadn't changed at all. So you've not taken on an Aussie accent, but you're loving the lifestyle out here, aren't you?
Yeah, it's great. It's a good place to be. Yeah, we do enjoy it here, especially climate-wise. You know, I mean, look at today. It's middle of winter and we're sitting out here with short sleeves on and it's sunny. I mean, it's going to rain later.
Yeah, it's going to rain tomorrow a lot, but
you get that.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's fantastic. So, obviously, I want to talk to you about Bristol City, Bristol Rovers, Exeter City. But you, as I say, were born in the East End. You're a big West Ham fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
Let's start with regrets. Is it regret you never played for West Ham?
No, I was never good enough, so I had no qualms about that. I mean, I played at the highest level my ability let me play at. I did a thing that I dreamt about doing, and I did a thing that thousands of people would love to do, and I feel privileged to have been a footballer.
Yeah. If I called you a journeyman footballer, you wouldn't be insulted by that.
Oh, I've had worse.
Yeah. So you started, I think Bournemouth was your first club.
Yeah.
And then you went to Mansfield, and then Bournemouth again.
Yeah.
But let's skip that and get on to when you joined Bristol City and linked up for the first time with your mate, as he became, Terry Cooper.
Yeah, I think I was at Bournemouth at the time, and the move sort of came out of the blue. But as soon as I met Terry and Clive Middlemas, you know, I was happy. My debut was York away, and Bournemouth used to get gates of around 3,500, and I think City took that many fans to York. So you know, it was a huge club, and I really enjoyed my time there. It was good. A good set of lads there. Good squad, good dressing room, and good management. You know, I learned so much from Terry. And
they were rebuilding then, of course, weren't they? Because they'd almost gone bust 2 years before.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the club had gone through bad times. I think they'd been relegated the previous season. You know, but of course we got promotion at the end of that season with the winner. We won 2-1 away Chester on the last day of the season, and again the support that we had was fantastic.
Tell us about Terry Cooper then. What, obviously he'd been an England World Cup player and a bit of a legend, but as a man manager,
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just made the game. He made the game so simple. It wasn't complicated. It just, you know, for me, all he ever said to me was, "Get it down, give it to someone else, and get in the box." So, you know, three simple things. And if you stuck to doing that, you'd be in the team.
Yeah. So he kept it simple because I think he understood players at your level, didn't he? You might have thought that he, you know, being an elite player himself, that he might have struggled, but he did actually seem to be able to get the best out of, excuse me saying it, average players.
Yeah, he got the best out of everybody. And that's not easy to do. It's a skill. But he did it really easily. It sort of just came natural to him. Okay,
but you didn't stay at City for that long, did you? That first spell?
No, and it's funny because I think I don't know if that was the second time when I was there and I went to Bolton. It was the thing with when Nev came the other way, wasn't it? And I think Terry had wanted myself and Nev to play together, but City, I don't think Exeter were going to let Nev go unless I went the other way. So you know, that's what happened. I think at those times, you know, the only way that a lot of the players got by was if they got a signing on fee.
Yeah.
And I was no different. You know, somebody gave you some money to go and join them. Then I went. It probably wasn't a good career move. But I didn't know that at the time. I just thought, okay, you know, these want me. And as it worked out, myself and Nev got to play later in life anyway. So
Steve Neville actually I interviewed on my last trip out here to Western Australia, which was nearly 3 years ago now, and he's still out here, isn't he?
I was with him on Saturday night. Yeah,
amazing.
We had a couple of beers together.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, so that was your first spell at City. And any great goals you remember? Any great games, or is it all in the midst of time?
No, I mean I scored on my debut at York. I'd scored a header, and it was sort of amongst a few boots, and I can remember someone's stud must have caught me on the head, and there was a little bit of blood around, and then me and the goal and all our supporters were behind that end, so I got off to a good start, and I was happy with that.
You're a blood and guts centre forward, and they don't make them anymore, unfortunately. It doesn't seem anyway.
A lot of people say that's a good thing.
Okay, so you eventually joined Bristol Rovers, didn't you? And how did that come about with Bobby Gould as manager?
Well, I think I was at Exeter at the time, and I wasn't having a really, I think I got sold quite a few times when I was playing, but it was the only time I'd asked for a move. I wasn't enjoying things, and Bristol Rovers came in. So we were pretty fortunate because we were living in just near Western, so Clevedon. We were in Clevedon at the time, so we was able to keep a house there, and I was travelling to Exeter backwards and forwards. Of course, but when the move came, it meant that we could stay where we were because the kids were in school at the time. It's probably the longest they've ever been in the same school through that period. And obviously, Tom Ritchie just lived around the corner from us. Curly was there, Brian Williams was there, Alan Walsh, but all on the same sort of estate. But as I say, the move came up to go to Bristol Rovers, and I went, got off to a good start, and scored a few goals there.
Yeah, almost a goal every other game. But the question is, did you have thoughts about, I'm an ex-City player going to Rovers? Was that a problem in your mind or not?
No, never. I didn't. It didn't even cross my mind. But then I used to go and watch City play sometimes midweek, because I knew quite a few of the lads there as well. So at half time I had to sort of get down in my seat because I was a horse's arse apparently.
And unfortunately, although you had a good time at Rovers, you did miss City winning at Wembley, didn't you?
Well, I couldn't plan that obviously because I was cup tied through playing with City. But I think that was around 87,
City at Wembley was 86 and 87 in the Freight Rover Trophy. Yeah,
I saw. The one they beat Mansfield, was it 3-0?
Bolton 3-0.
Yeah, Bolton, and
then they lost to Mansfield on penalties the following year.
Yeah, well then when I was at Bolton, I got to play there. So it was when you think as a kid growing up, I've been to Wembley about three times, but only to see West Ham. So all of a sudden, I'm on the pitch playing now and scoring as well. My wife was there and the kids, mum and dad. Great.
Okay, so Rovers. I think the game everybody mentions to me when I say I might be seeing you out here is Leicester in the FA Cup. Scored 2, yeah. A great win for the club. Tell us your memories of that game.
Well, I think you don't really get games like that anymore. The way the pitches are today, the pitch there was right in the middle of winter. Yeah. Heavy mud everywhere. Proper pitch, yeah. Everyone's got big long studs in their boots, and to be honest, it brought them. I think it brought them down a bit. The teams at that level like to pass it, keep the
don't
ball
do yourself down. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. But we was a bit more blood and guts on the day. I mean, to beat a team that were in the highest division, you don't really get them upsets in the cup anymore.
No. But it was on TV and everything, and so you got a lot of coverage, didn't you?
Yeah, that might have been. I think that my time at Rovers, they'd always showed the goals that were scored on a Monday night. But at that time, there must have been a dispute between companies, and I don't think they showed.
No, I think you're right. But was it not on Match of the Day? I thought it was. I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
If it was, I'd love to see it.
Okay, if anybody out there has a copy of that game, then please let us know. That was the highlight of Rovers. Bobby Gould as a manager, comparing with TC, obviously they were big rivals, weren't they?
Different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely two different people, I mean, Bobby Gould, you said about my goal scoring rate there, you know, and he was sort of never satisfied with me, and he always used to say, you know, when was the last time you scored a tap-in? Stuff like that, and he used to get me thinking. I couldn't remember if it was the last time I got a tap-in, to be honest with you. But people use different ways to get the most out of people. Terry's way of doing it was completely different to how Bobby Gould was.
And of course, it was Twerton Park, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think a little bit of history there with the Rovers, because I scored the last ever goal at Eastfield and then the first ever one at Twerton. So that's something that was history now, isn't it? So I'm in the books.
And talking about levellers, Twerton Park was a leveller, wasn't it? Because Rovers had a fantastic spell at Twerton in terms of getting into what's now the Championship and playing at a big level, playing a lot of the big teams in cup competitions. Playing at Twerton was intimidating for the opposition, wasn't it?
Well, I'd left then. I think I sort of my first season at Twerton, and when the transfer window came around, and then Bristol City came in, then I was gone.
Okay, so there we are. We're back to this City and Rovers thing. So, again, did you have second thoughts about going from Rovers to City for £10,000? I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, I didn't have. I didn't really have. I always thought if someone doesn't want me and someone does, go.
So Bobby Gould, did he try and keep you? It was still Gouldy then, was it? When
he was the manager.
Yeah. So did he make attempts to, or did he think £10,000 for you was good business then?
Well, obviously he did, because he let me go. So
yeah, okay. And then you scored a reasonable number of goals in that second spell at City, and I think. It was a promotion push, wasn't it, at the end of that spell?
Yeah, it came down to the last game, didn't it, when Gordon Owen missed the penalty. Swindon, wasn't it? Yeah. That's right, yeah, because I remember I'd scored the first goal, and then Joe Jordan was defending for us. He made not a very good header from a free kick, and it was 1-1. And then, of course, we got the penalty very late on in the game, and Gordon Owen spoiled it for us, didn't he, Bob?
Oh dear.
Yeah, we did give him a bit of stick about that, actually. Yeah, because he missed the penalty at Mansfield, against Mansfield as well, didn't he? We used to say to him, "You've cost the club 2 trophies," and just like
nice of you, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So okay, so Rovers and City, you had a good time. You were popular with both sets of fans. You still are now, actually, just from the reaction we get whenever you're mentioned and players of that era are mentioned. Given the chance, would you like to play in the current era, or was when you played the best time for football?
For me personally, I think the time that we had wouldn't be replicated.
No.
I mean, the game's changed, the people have changed.
Has money spoilt it?
I don't know, because if someone offers you this much and you're going to accept, we used to go in and see the manager at the end of the season. We'll give you an extra £10 a week. Oh, thanks, Gaffer, that's great,
Yeah.
But it's not like that. People got agents going in working for them. If someone gives you an extra 20 quid at the end of the season, you think, oh, that's all right, and you've signed a contract, you're secure. So it can be a pretty cutthroat business, as we all know.
Yeah. Were you still at City when Terry Cooper was sacked and Joe Jordan took over, or
No.
you'd left by that stage?
Yeah, I'd gone to Bolton then.
Oh, you'd gone to Bolton, of course you had, yeah. But eventually you went back to Exeter with Terry Cooper, didn't you? He took you down there.
He did. I was in. I'd left Colchester, and I'd been playing in Colchester, were relegated out of the Football League, and I think in my contract I was able to leave if the club were relegated, if I found another club.
Yeah.
And of course, they'd bought me in from Bolton, but didn't do enough to stay up, to be honest. And so they went down, and the opportunity came up for me to go and play in Hong Kong. So me and the missus and the kids all went over there, and then we loved it. It was great. Had a good time there. I was there for probably about 5-6 months, and then Nev rang me up and said, "Do you want to come back here?" The Gaffer's looking for it. Nev was assistant manager.
Yeah.
And they wanted I went in as like sort of player coach. So my wife wasn't very happy. But we came back. We came back to Exeter then, and that's where our sort of relationship started with Terry, and being with him at Birmingham.
You went to Birmingham as assistant manager, didn't
yeah.
you? Yeah.
It's funny. I was talking to. I still keep in touch with Mark. Mark Cooper, and we catch up for a pint when I go back and whatever. But it was so funny. We were coming back one day in the car from an away game, and we were just talking. And Terry said to me, like, "You know why I've got you with me, don't you?" I was thinking, what can I say? I didn't say, well, you trust me and you know me a long time. He went, no, Rose likes you. And Rose was his wife, obviously, you know. And that just stuck with me, because women have got that. They seem to have a sixth sense, don't they, when it comes to people. And you do need to trust people in football, especially when when you're working with them.
Yeah.
There has to be that trust. The last thing you want is people working against you. You know, and I'd do anything for Terry.
Yeah, it's sad, so sad that we lost him, but some great memories from him. Scooting on to the rest of your career as such, after you stopped playing, you've done a lot of management jobs. You've been out here, you came to Sorrento to manage out here, but your biggest success, you've been in Malaysia as well, biggest success in India.
Yeah.
What is the football scene like in India?
Well, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I got the job there, and then I went onto YouTube to have a look at the club. The club was called Kingfisher East Bengal. I mean, the Kingfisher straight away got me, because it's a beer, so I was happy with that. And when I looked, we used to get 100,000 at some of our games. There's a derby game I was in Calcutta, and there's a derby game there, and there's a bit of history that goes back between the two teams from when India partition. So the supporters not really keen on each other, and you'd get, we had 50,000 at one end, and they'd have half the ground and had 50,000 there, and it's a hairs on the neck moment when you go out on the pitch. And fortunately, during my time there, we got the better of them the majority of times we played. We didn't every time, but to make that many people happy in one hit is great.
Yeah, and it's amazing, because back in the UK we just think of India as cricket, don't we? We don't think of them as football.
No, you've got Calcutta, which is cricket and football, really, and then places like Mumbai is cricket, but Kerala is football, Goa is football, but Delhi's cricket. It's sort of mixed around.
Yeah. So would you go back there again? Would you, or have you now?
No, I think I'm.
You're retired, are you now?
I'm not retired. No. I'm off tomorrow. If I got a job, I'd be off tomorrow.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you come back to the UK?
Yeah.
Would you?
Well, I'd go anywhere.
Would you give up all this? Would you?
Yeah, because we can come back here.
Ah, yeah, because you're an Aussie citizen now, aren't you?
We are. Yeah, we're dual nationality. So.
Right. Easy life then, isn't it? Yeah. So if Bristol City or Bristol Rovers are watching this and they wanted Trevor Morgan in as a centre forward, maybe as a manager, you'd be available. You'd be back like a shot, would you? That's really interesting.
Yeah. It's the job that you do, and it doesn't matter where it is. Football. The rules don't change wherever you are. The players don't change. I'll go anywhere.
Oh, interesting. And finally, City and Rovers, do you follow their results?
Yeah, I follow all the teams that they'll sort of play for results. It takes a bit of time sometimes.
Yeah, because it's easy to Premier League. It's easy to see the Premier League out here, but not so much the lower divisions.
No, I always look at Rovers and City, and I look at obviously Bournemouth now are in the Premier League, and I do look at them, because I've still got people that who live there and. Probably follow the team as well.
Yeah. So when you come back, are you going to come back to Bristol on your next visit, or are you going elsewhere? You're going to the East End of London, being an East Ender again.
Yeah, I'll go back to see my sister. Like, we've got both my parents are gone now, so I'll go back. My sister's there, so we'll go back and see her for a while. My daughter's there. They moved back about 4 years ago with my daughter's husband's work. So we've got grandchildren there. We've got grandchildren here.
Brilliant.
And I'll go back. We'll go back, but we'd love to go back to see the places that we lived in.
Yeah.
Like just to because it might, you never know when you're going to go back again. You know. So we'd like to, when I go back, hopefully we'll get ourselves down to Clevedon and just have a look to where we live. Then we'll get down to near Exeter. We used to live in a place called Cullumpton. And just go and see where we where you were and
nice.
the memories of
and
the
the memories
place.
will come back, won't they? Yeah. Well, fantastic memories, Trevor. I could chat to you for ages, but I better not keep you because it's going to get dark here. So it gets dark early over here, doesn't it?
It does. It does. That's one thing I do miss. A good summer's evening in England, 9, 10 o'clock, and
6 o'clock here it gets dark, and even in the winter and even in the summer.
The latest is about 7:45.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks ever so much for sparing the time to come and see me. And he's off probably to the golf course now because it's just round the corner from his place. But thanks ever so much for watching, and we wish Trevor the best of luck in whatever he decides to do next, whether it's in Australia, the UK, or by the sound of it, anywhere in the world he gets an offer. Thanks very much, Trevor.
Thank you.